Hey guys, so it's Saturday and yesterday Max had his chest closed. Today we've just rocked up here at the Royal Children's Hospital and we've just went in to see Max. He actually had a really good night. He's slowly coming off of the sedation. So today when we seen him, he had his eyes open and he was looking around, and they're slowly weaning down the intubator. So just before we left him just then, he was in control of his own breathing. He still had the tube in there, but that was slowly weaning it down. And one of the doctors was saying that tomorrow morning is when they're looking to take that out.
I don't know, he looks good. Like, he's not as swollen as he could be. Like, all the drains are really helping with that. He just seems to be really recovering well, so we're really happy with that.
When the nurse was looking at him, he said that he was just really swollen around his eyes. He was just a bit puffy around his eyes and his stomach, and but everything else looked fairly normal, which is quite good. We thought that that would take a few days to go away, but it's happening a little bit earlier than expected. So fingers crossed everything's doing really well and will continue to go really well.
And his feeds have increased from 2 mils an hour to 5 mils an hour. So hopefully in a couple of days we can look at trying to breastfeed. And they're giving him more stuff through his feed. So they were giving him like potassium and some other stuff in his IVs, but now they're doing that through his feeds, so which is really good. So the last few weeks, our diet has just been terrible. With what's happening with Max, food is generally the last thing that we're worrying about. But we've just come here across the road to a kebab shop and just picked up some lunch. So not much has really changed, and they don't expect it to. So while Max is just weaning down off the sedation, he's just having a fairly quiet day and a fairly quiet night. That's all part of his recovery plan. So they're turning down the amount of oxygen that he's getting from the intubator, and now he's starting to breathe on his own. So they tell us that they hope to have the tube out tomorrow morning, and then that's just one step closer for him to be leaving the PICU. He's potentially could be moved to Koala Ward on Monday if he keeps going as well as he is. So as hard as this has all been, it's really nice to see how well he's recovering. He's doing better than they anticipated. It's really reassuring.
And that's just not like the doctors saying, oh, he's doing really well. All the nurses and all the doctors were expecting him to be a little bit worse for wear after his surgery,
it's not just them saying it, they're generally surprised how well he's doing.
Like such a long surgery, but also the blood clotting issue. Like the nurse that was in today, like I don't know if you heard when he was questioning, like, do they know why he had such a bad problem with the blood? And the doctor said that they weren't sure what caused that.
Yeah, because he was just reading up on his history, and there was a note in there saying that he lost a lot of blood, so he had to take in a lot of blood transfusion to replace that. So this afternoon we went out for dinner, and tonight is Ellen's dad and Ellen's sister's last night here in Melbourne with us, so we went out for dinner.
Have been catching up for lunches, but today Charles and I just stayed around the hospital until I had to leave earlier. The past 3 days I've been having really bad headaches. I think it's like lack of sleep, and I think it's been since Thursday, so I'm kind of thinking like, you know, there's this build up for the surgery, and then once the surgery is done, it's like, you know, my body kind of was like, all right, you've had enough now, and made me start suffering, because I think I've been doing pretty well physically, considering I did have babies just a few weeks ago, and it's been non-stop just looking after them.
Yeah.
So it's taken its toll a little bit, but feeling much better. I had a nana nap this afternoon. I feel a lot better.
And we need you to be looking after yourself as well.
This morning we got to the hospital and we got there quite late. It's after 11, but we had a bit of a
rough night.
We had a rough night. Emmy was up for a few hours. You know, Max feeds every 2 hours. Leo, sorry, feeds every 2 hours. So it's, you know, a rough night. Plus he peed through his clothes, so that was, you know, adds to it. And so it was a bit of a slow start, and we do like to get there a bit earlier, because then we're kind of there for rounds, and that's when
you see the doctors, and you can just sort of listen to what they're talking about, because like they'll go through stuff with us, but then when you hear the nurse go through and just the full rundown, like top to toe, and they go through, it's like 15 minutes of just them explaining to all the doctors what's happened in the last like 24 hours. It's like
literally everything top to toe. They go like, you know, neurological right down to
respiratory, the fluid like levels, just everything. So it's good to be there for that. And I mean, we don't understand half of it, but
you know, the nurses are really good. They would do that for us if we just asked them.
Like they go through everything that we need to know, and I think we're always getting asked, like, do you guys have any questions? And
I feel sometimes it feels we're like a bit dumb, because we're like, no, but I feel like we ask if we have a question.
Yeah, I think we're sort of comfortable with everything that's happening, and half the reason for that is because we're getting such good news all the time, and Max is doing well, so there's not much for us to sort of ask and question, and why is this happening, why is that happening. It's not like they're having any issues with anything. Everything they're doing, they're always saying he's doing so well, this is better than what we predicted.
But he looks better, like just colour wise, he just looks better. So I think in all of this, like, it's not, I don't know, it's not like he was, you know, okay, but there was a heart issue, so he had to get it fixed. He was really unwell, and so seeing him go from being so unwell, and he's still got all the tubes in and things like that, and that's really full on to see, but he just looks better, and just to see his chest moving at a normal rate makes a difference. Like,
it's not at like 70, 80 like breaths a minute. It's like
20 or 30. When he was getting, like, when he arrived on Monday to Melbourne, his breaths were over 100.
The surgeon keeps saying that when he came in, he was breathing like a locomotive. So guys, we'll call the vlog there. So if you're pregnant with twins, if you have twins, if you're parent of a heart kid, or you're just interested to see what we have going on, look out for the upcoming vlogs. Better yet, subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you want to donate to Heart Kids, we'll have the link in the description below. Thank you for making it to the end of the video, and we'll see you in the next one. Classic surgeon.
Classic.
So
everything's looking hunky dory.
Hunky dory.